12 artists. 1 decade. The most transformative era in Black music history. You already know some of these names: the Supremes, James Brown, Aretha Franklin. But here's what you probably don't know.
Treat me wrong, come and love me, daddy, all night long.
The artist who sold more records, topped more charts, and changed more rules than anyone else in the 1960s is not the one you're thinking of right now. And when you find out who it is, everything you thought you knew about 60s R&B is going to get rewritten. Let's start at number 12. Born number 12, Wilson Pickett. You've heard In the Midnight Hour. You've heard Mustang Sally. But here's what most people don't know about the man behind those records. Wilson Pickett didn't want to sing soul music. He came up in gospel, singing with the violinaires in Detroit. That was his calling. That was the plan. Then 1963 came along and changed everything.
I guess you better slow your Mustang Sally now, baby.
Pickett joined a group called the Falcons and started hearing what was coming out of Stax Records down in Memphis. Something clicked inside him. By 1965, he was in that studio himself, recording alongside Booker T and the MGs. In the Midnight Hour hit number 1 on the R&B charts that summer. And that should have been a triumphant moment. But here's the thing about Wilson Pickett. The man had a temper. They didn't call him the Wicked Pickett for nothing. He was difficult and demanding, sometimes genuinely impossible to work with. And yet, every producer who ever recorded him said the same exact thing. When that voice hit the microphone, none of it mattered. Between 1965 and 1969, Pickett put 16 songs in the R&B top 10. 16. And most people still don't put him in the same conversation as the names coming up on this list. That changes right now. Number 11, Benny King. People watching this are actually subscribed. And that hurts a little. We spend hours digging through archives, fact-checking every detail, bringing these stories back to life. Because this music deserves to be remembered. And if you're here, you care about that too. So if these videos mean something to you, if you've ever said, "I didn't know that" while watching, or felt something stir in your chest, just hit subscribe. It's free. It takes 2 seconds, and it tells the algorithm to show this to more people who love this music the way we do. All right, back to the story.
Stand by me.
Number 10, Otis Redding.
They do get weary, worried. Them young girls,
They called him the King of Soul. And if you need to Number 9, the Four Tops. You want to know something remarkable about this group? The same 4 men, Levi Stubbs, Abdul Duke Fakir, Ronaldo Benson, and Lawrence Payton, stayed together for over 40 years. No lineup changes, no drama, no breakups, no reunions. Just 4 guys from Detroit who started singing at a house party in 1953 and never stopped. They knocked around for a full decade before fame came knocking. Chess Records passed on them. Columbia passed. Then in 1964, Motown signed them and handed them to Holland Dozier Holland. Baby, I Need Your Lovin' got them into the top 20. But the real explosion came in 1965. I Can't Help Myself, Sugar Pie Honey Bunch, sat at number 1 on the R&B chart for 9 straight weeks. 9. Then Reach Out, I'll Be There did it again in '66.
Dreaming how she used to be. Spend the night.
50 million records sold. 4 voices that never changed. Here's the thing about Levi Stubbs' voice. It wasn't pretty. It wasn't smooth. That man sang like he was begging you for something, like his whole life depended on you hearing him. That kind of desperation, you can't fake it. You never could.
She was my girl.
Number 8, Marvin Gaye. Now, Marvin didn't walk into Motown as a star. When he showed up in 1961, Berry Gordy put him on drums. Session work, background vocals, Marvin actually wanted to sing jazz standards. Think Sinatra. Gordy told him that wasn't going to sell. So Marvin adapted. Stubborn Kind of Fellow hit in '62. Pride and Joy hit in '63. And he started building something. But here's what most people don't know. Marvin Gaye's biggest hit of the entire decade almost never came out. I Heard It Through the Grapevine. Norman Whitfield produced it in 1967. Berry Gordy said no and shelved it. Gladys Knight recorded a version first and had a hit with it. But when Marvin's version finally dropped in late 1968, it went to number 1 for 7 weeks and became Motown's biggest-selling single of the entire decade. And Marvin hated performing it live. Thought the song was too dark, too paranoid. But every time that bass line started, every time those strings swelled up, audiences lost their minds. Sometimes the songs that haunt you are the ones that make history.
Yeah.
Number 7, Aretha Franklin.
You're a liar and you're a cheat. You're no good. Heartbreaker.
You know the title, but here's what you might not know. Aretha Franklin spent the first half of the 1960s failing. She signed with Columbia in 1960. They had absolutely no idea what to do with her. Pop standards, jazz, show tunes, 6 years, 9 albums, not a single major hit.
Say we, the man ain't no good. I guess I'm just uptight.
By 1966, Aretha was in debt to her own record label. Then she signed with Atlantic Records, flew down to Muscle Shoals, Alabama, and in one session, one day, she recorded, "I Never Loved a Man the Way I Love You." Everything changed.
Some time ago.
Respect went to number 1. Baby, I Love You. You Make Me Feel Like a Natural Woman. Chain of Fools. In 2 years, Aretha Franklin became the most successful female artist in R&B history. 20 number 1 R&B hits, a record that stood for decades.
The way you treated me, it was a shame. You know that I was the sweetest thing.
But think about this. What if Columbia had figured her out? What if she never left? Some people need to be told no first. Some people need to fail before they find the room where everything finally clicks. When Aretha found that room, there was no stopping her. Number 6, Stevie Wonder.
We're gonna sing this song. We're gonna sing this.
August 1963. A 13-year-old blind kid from Saginaw, Michigan became the youngest solo artist to ever top the Billboard Hot 100. The song was Fingertips Part 2, a live recording from the Motown Revue. And the wildest part? He wasn't even supposed to be recording that day.
You're supposed to fight wars in the name of God or in the name of Allah. That's unacceptable. And I mean it. Because I believe that God...
Motown had signed him at 11 years old, called him Little Stevie Wonder. They thought they had a novelty act, a kid who played harmonica. But Fingertips hit #1 on both the pop and the R&B charts simultaneously. The first time any artist had ever done that at the same time. Then something happened. His voice started changing. Puberty. The hits stopped. Motown nearly dropped him.
Do you agree with me? Hatred and all that silliness. It's unacceptable.
What saved his career? A producer named Sylvia Moy, who marched up to Berry Gordy and convinced him to give Stevie one more chance. Otta Uptight, Everything's Alright, hit the top 10. Then, I Was Made to Love Her. Then, For Once in My Life. 7 top 10 hits before the decade even ended. And Stevie was still a teenager. And the best was still coming. Way more than anyone could have imagined.
If you're gonna be a hater and you wanna be a hater, why don't you drink some haterade? We can't have haters.
Number 5, Sam Cooke.
Man, tell me, oh, he's called.
They called him the King of Soul before there was even a genre called soul. Before Otis, before Marvin. Before anyone else claimed that title, it belonged to Sam Cooke. Sam started in gospel, lead singer of the Soul Stirrers. Then in 1957, he recorded You Send Me, a pop song. And the gospel community turned their backs on him completely. Didn't matter. That song hit #1 on both charts and sold over 1 million copies.
The sky, tell me how many oh, he sees.
But here's where Sam Cooke becomes truly singular. He wasn't just a singer. He started his own record label, SAR Records. He owned his own publishing. In the early 1960s, a black artist controlling his own masters was almost unheard of. Chain Gang, Twisting the Night Away, Cupid, A Change Is Gonna Come. 29 top 40 hits in 8 years. Then, in December 1964, Sam Cooke was shot and killed at a motel in Los Angeles. He was 33 years old. The circumstances remain controversial. There are people who still don't believe the official story. But his music, that part is settled. Sam Cooke built the foundation that every artist on this list stood on.
That he just doesn't see. Oh, it's blowing.
Number 4, The Temptations. Five voices, matching suits, choreography so precise it became its own art form. If you've ever seen anyone do the Temptation Walk, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Now, the Temptations had been grinding since 1961. 3 years of flops. Motown was close to dropping them. Then Smokey Robinson wrote them a song. David Ruffin sang lead. And in March 1965, My Girl went to #1. That song has since been certified 7 times platinum. It gets played at weddings, at graduations, at funerals. Some of y'all heard it the very first time you fell in love, and you remember exactly where you were. But what made the Temptations different, what set them apart, was that they evolved. When David Ruffin left in '68, they brought in Dennis Edwards and went psychedelic. Cloud 9, Ball of Confusion. They became the first Motown act to win a Grammy. 37 top 40 hits in the 1960s alone. 4 #1 pop singles. The definitive male vocal group of the decade. And they're not even in the top 3. Number 3, James Brown. The godfather of soul, Soul Brother #1, the hardest working man in show business. Pick your title. James earned every single one of them. Here's what people forget. In 1962, James Brown wanted to record a live album at the Apollo Theater. King Records told him it would fail. Nobody buys live R&B albums, they said. James paid for it himself. Live at the Apollo went to #2 on the Billboard 200 and stayed on the charts for 66 weeks. It changed everything about how R&B artists were recorded and marketed. Between 1958 and 1969, James Brown charted 93 singles on the Hot 100. 93. 17 #1 R&B hits, more than anyone. And he did all of it while owning radio stations, running a full business empire, and performing over 300 shows a year. Anish Papa's got a brand new bag. I got you. I feel good. Say it loud. I'm black and I'm proud. Every song was a cultural event. The man invented funk. He changed rhythm itself, and somehow, he is still not #1 on this list. #2, The Supremes.
And every day I thank you, love. You've given me a true love.
Diana Ross, Mary Wilson, Florence Ballard. 3 women from the Brewster Douglas Projects in Detroit. And they became the most successful American vocal group of the 1960s, bar none. Now, they did not start out that way. People at Motown called them the No-Hit Supremes. They put out 8 singles that flopped. #1, Ray Charles. And I know what you're thinking. Ray Charles? Not Diana Ross? Not James Brown? Here's why. In 1960, Ray Charles released Georgia on My Mind. It went to #1 on the Billboard Hot 100, his first pop chart topper. In 1961, Hit the Road Jack did the same thing. In 1962, I Can't Stop Loving You went #1 and held it for 5 weeks. But here's what actually changed everything. That same year, Ray Charles released an album called Modern Sounds in Country and Western Music, a black artist recording country music, in 1962. That album became the first by an R&B artist to top the Billboard 200. Not the R&B chart, the main chart. The same chart the Beatles were about to dominate. Ray Charles didn't just have hits. He invented crossover. He proved that black artists could sell to white audiences, could redefine entire genres, could refuse to be boxed in. At a time when the industry was built on boxing people in. Before there was the Motown crossover strategy. Before Atlantic's Southern Soul playbook. There was Ray Charles showing everyone it was even possible. And he did all of it blind. Blind since the age of 7. The man they called the genius earned the name. Every single artist on this list, every one of them, walked through a door that Ray Charles kicked open first.